deal Takanda Yana Shungu Tone, Harshur, Timgu Tone, Ani Nevatang, Takanda Tapshe, Tange Langa Chik, Dire, Niwa de la Twizing, you were the Chude Rawandan, Javacha, they were Perna Lola, on to Pugu Nangdengi, Sugun Jodan, the Rawan Tone, Church here, Melchek Yana, Marshal Shung Rangi, Ani Tembe Chiche, Dig Tola Jogo, Chude Rawanda, Javacha, they were Tama de la Manzuki Rishunre, Labra Shirim Labteg and Alola, Yana Shungi, Situ Tembe Chiche, Puguki, Labteg, Lobzen Samalo, Tapuna Logi. Kajimiri yore, issue yore, Tanyu Miri Samalo, Zameta, pick up the Miri Tepiki. Today into Tanda, Miri Twindi, Dan Yargegi, Timmy Shue di, Nanzu pick up the Miri Salata, Timmy Chade or Dig Nandun, the Takandra Punang Lola, Chica Pubeki, Gay Rishun Sama, Mewa, Hanashik, Tanyu Miriki, Gay Rishun Sama, Mewa Suche. Yana Rangi, Takanda Kay Tola Drogo Yadanga, the Latarchi, Situ Chicha, the Wati, Shiraki dire, today in the do, Tande Dinzu Tola, Takacha Tonere, Machidu Lenzo Toner, Tende, Legu Rabderba Yungure, Tanda de Kung to Josun Shisure, Chinda Guet Se, Nga Chu, doing Imani the Shagazi, Mato Changarigi, Sojenji Suguyore, Sonza, Tandeki Pulu, Shumbudan Treva Tonere. Shigachewe Liguki, Nedunda Treveton, Tanangazo Chi, Sawale, Chigumanga Deore, Shungu Mobeton, Mazo Yambrikutone, Changari Kuta Tunjore, Giji Pedon Ligu Kangre, Haganashingi, Purichudun Sobatore, Shunde Mayembe Sobatore, Yamrukutone, Tamambala, Chinda Guveki, Changariki, Sojin Su Tawe Jela, Rimbeki number to Sane Sadola, Soto Toshin the Guletuki, Sera Nangre, Taganashin Sera Tuyungres, Lane, Adishue, into Mambalanzu, Pedu, Tabza than Treveton, Legudi, Mutushe, Hajan Ketchum Chagu Yoreslandi, Shue, Taganashin Kazan, Chinda Dumbeki, Kulu Shumbu than Treveton, Sosorani, Chidu Jimbachan, Decharek, Kukachunson, Tarian Lariante, number to Samlo Jere. Kasan imba ina pema chidu lanzola zadaga thone dene sotung ligol pha dewa shu che pha cha cho chislan shu inde chidu lanzo ki tim da dikshi ledon chejo dinzo na lo la ya chik dön sho pha nyamdo sotung ligol phu go dende ga thone cho cho shin da gyulel ka do shu go ki tadi ko tim da dikshi rodan chire dende indu kasan he kulu shumbu dan dreve thone de cha we kapla lobur tu ta ka do dan dende khai chu yo mate chidu ji imbe chane so so lengen trup che ta Chidul Hanzo Nakato, the Tuku Yumila Mate Beki, Kandar Techa to a Chung Yuslan, Adishue Danta Tarendi, Kazan Gebe Sumlaya, Chidul Hanzolaya, the New Yorki, Prijidun Sopatan, Zara Sochung Tone, Nala Drumbechi, Shisungi, Pasutuli, Shuche, Shunde, Moshenaro Naslani, Kato Shuin, Kesa de Tu Made, Namtan Jovatan, the Muti Kigune, and Kato the Top Shatarende, Shunde Tone, the Chayus, Chawa Island, the number of Samalo Shuatan. Dache, Tatrende, Chige Mina, Kundun Kaji Pesha, Anya de Injig Nalola, Panga de Injitamshe, the Yamushira Yomare, the day in the day, Itola Mapache, the Chigma Drojan Shui, and number the Tamalo to the Kukji, Kaduna Ronas and Shui. Good morning, everyone. Members of New York and New Jersey Tibetan communities, community leaders, human rights advocates, and friends of Tibet, thank you for inviting me to stand with you today at this Memorial Day honoring Losam Bandela, also known as Lobga Rangzen. Some of you may recall that I had the humble privilege of attending his funeral here in New York this past July, while serving as the South North American Tibetan Member of Parliament. Returning to stand alongside you once again fills my heart with deep humility and immense respect for our community's strength and unity. As a representative for South North America Tibetan Member of Parliament, I am deeply honored to join you in remembering his extraordinary courage, ultimate sacrifice, and his dedication to the Tibetan cause. Today is a day of solemn remembrance, but it is also a powerful reminder of our shared responsibility. The sacrifice of Lobga Bandela calls upon every single Tibetan, especially those of us living in the diaspora, to fiercely protect and preserve our precious language, culture, traditions, and national identity. For decades, the Tibetan people have faced unimaginable challenges, yet our spirit remains unbroken. Guided by the vision, wisdom, and compassion of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we continue our peaceful struggle rooted in truth, justice, dialogue, and non-violence. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to community leaders, human rights advocates, and friends of Tibet who gathered here today. Thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with us. Our voice amplifies ours. Your unwavering solidarity sends a powerful message to the brave brothers and sisters inside Tibet who continue to endure daily oppression and denial of basic human rights. We demand the Chinese government to immediately cease all the policies aimed at eradicating our identity and way of life. China must uphold fundamental human rights of the Tibetan people and safeguard Tibet's distinct and religious heritage without exception. As Madam Speaker Droma Thirunla of Tibetan Parliament Exile recently emphasized that the Chinese government must return to the meaningful dialogue with His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan administration to peacefully resolve the Sino-Tibet conflict. The Tibetan spirit cannot be silenced. Our identity lives in our heart, in our communities, and in our collective commitment to freedom and dignity. In that spirit of solidarity, I also want to extend our deepest appreciation to Thomas King Jackson for completing his extraordinary 1,000-mile walk for Tibet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Every single step of your journey represented courage, compassion, and justice. Your dedication reminds us that the passion of one individual can ignite and inspire global movement. May the sacrifice of Paulo Sambandela strengthen our unity and determination. Our unity is our greatest strength, and our truth is our greatest weapon. And our hope for peaceful and dignified Tibet will never fade. Pögyalo, long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Tujiche.
Pögyalo, pögyalo, pögyalo.
Thank you. Please help me welcome Samtula and Sonam Chudinla, family of Lobga Rangzen La, who will read his final testament in Tibetan.
Lobga Rangzen La ki kumche, Samtula da, Sonam Chudinla, Nyeje, Jeje, Lobga Rangzen La ki shejem, Kor, Sungshe Nangju.
Tumadela, Gozashange is Kapaturu Rambochela, Kijapotone, and Tasasho Kondan, Mipemo Pedesha, Tumala, Shambale Seshe, Ane Shitonga Tadi Tola, Power Anzelo Gagi, Kashin, the Dinimaj Logo, and Perishita Toto Capesoma. That tell Kashin, the Tanda. Judge Lobga Rangzen Kurong Sonja Kashin de Mazo Taiwan Yor and Yitul lawyer Yor, Chason Yawa is a Miseg Mindrilla, the Nindeshe Jomago with Tolone, and Tano Shokel, Patient Toto Saba Congo Tion and the Karila Teni, and Anzo Numi, Tano Shoke, and Zonanyano Jansu, Nolola, and Rami Toton Sobega. And Uchida, and Ishia, Nolo, and Roman Toton Sabego, Uchina, and Tano Shokela, and Judge Lobga Rangzen, Don Jevi, Tolone, and Mazo, titola ani ta ka keje she go ani koko rawa je titola da chuwi go tholo ne so so la ngone chi ni do de ji go tholo le ngone chi ja go ya de chi so so ngone lo hwa na shong kai sen na shi be go ye ta do ani jem be ka she ke yo ma re de ina go ta ngone de go chi nyang ha we ji go tholo na thala ba be ling ji go tholo ne la de ji go tholo ke je she on ro ke shon de zambal te je chi se ta me ma de ngana se pho bo na shong yana ta to ya ji la nga zo ani jaji pa loga ran zo shi be ge ani nga zo ge jaji pa wo ja de ji ten chi ti ma che ge ta nga zo ji pe ta kha tu mri ge che de kli te zo li tong yo nge ge jaji pa wo pa ma cha song ge ani ni tong do ani kizi penche ran bo chen ge ani ni tong tan zo kang ge tholo ne ani nga zo ge ani pe la ndowa mi ge thotong me sa do ani ka nga tli ye se ge tholo ne ani cha song wa ji pe me si ge ta ge chong ran je ka re ran la te ne go ani ya po ji she ra so tin yin ta ani ti tholo la ani koron song ngen la go ta chi mi se ge ti tholo la koron song ga nyam shi che do che yam ba yin se yin ti tholo mi se ge ta khon zo ka re che gu ye me do tan zo ka mi se ge ka le jo ne chi chi ge yin se o tin di song song ani ta nga re ngone se la sa ya ke ja kha ji ka re ye se zo ta ta da ngan zo del ta de zo mo so tong zha mo bo ji do chi ren zam de zam de ngan zo ge jun tu ne ka se zen zam tu gu ye me ge to lo ta te mun tu ne lo do to de ge de ani shu mo ni ga li yo re sang de ni de cha chu ma ga ani so so ta wa ma shu ka re yi me la ma te pe to lo ne de ngan zo pe mri ji ge che de pe ja ga ji ge che de yin wa ye za cha song la tra le pe le ngi ji re ma do ani ji ge che le su de ja na na ani ko de jo na te ye ja ma re de ye na za wa ni ne DJ wa mare tedi chejo wa mare samgodo ani ta ngaro khari she jaji pa loga ranchen ge sha sha kha shen te ani chi te don rebe go tolo tamshe si ji no wa ina ta te chi jen tu ma dong wan de te wa ma je tedi zo ge tolo pe me si ge te chama chi ji sha ro chi sen wa te be ge chi she yin ani choma la tu ji che ani shamba chi she am ani pe jalo
dear Jawe pyogi uti nambada ani pyomiri ngajo pyri punda changwalo le samti shura danda ani ashan logi gi khajim dan dewe keja khaji shura sonsa andila thar shogi ngajo pyogi shunul han sogi choksur kong chang chla gyune ngajo nyamti gezo le ja tu so nyamti gezo ge ngajo do mi thop tang gi chembal le ja ma se an khonsula ngajo phimi di du chang ma shubi anti shuba dan da ngajo ge ani pheba ge tanda gwendun chush de re an gwendun chu de zake okuji ngajo la duk tu ba na ro na se le shu an gwendun di zna le ani tangbu di ani nyamti gezo ge an phele tanda nambe gwendun tanda jingdong gyang chung gu lo da chujuri ji chujurang na gyo de zo an moti ni ya nyam shi da gyapsu na gu yu se ji ji ani odi ani ni odi ani phe di ani Rangzen de bi ge gap jin ba le ani wen ji qiao yu xie ji da ani su mo di a zu phe na lo le ya ani phe na lo le ya da draw me top down da ma ju ra wa ti xin su su ye ma ju ra wa di su sang ma me wa yin de sa ba di sang ma lo le ya ani rawan tem be ani sa ku se da ba ne phe na lo dang wi ani phe na lo ngwe ne chu de zu zam ling ge chi le tuen tu chi wo yu xie ji xue re an ti xin do ani ta da kya na ge su be mi ri tun ji da chang ding gi ka de tim ji ro 팀 비가를 쉬래 맞아 추주고 내 밤마다 같이 해야지 같이 지켜가려야 돼 맞아 벽이 아직이 벽이 뭐다 출루 디지 라운드에서 매매 낑낑 맞아 시계를 내는 럽준치 기저 냠스차 치들레리 녀레 탄데 게미 가시 오르스나 덴자라도 디즈니 펴 부자마 다 장왕 토니 카제단지 폐기 깨다 릭슈 멤스야 탑시던 거리 딘조가래 아니 고주기 팀루디 아니 지미 당고였을 쉬어래 대시 아니 아샬로가 코란기 랑르 메시단세 사지델이야 단대보다 원주냠디 계속 돈이 되난 냄비 아니 계속 시에 중요 말이 딘데인도 인지미지 경직이 아니 맞을래야 고잡시 당고였 아니 당고여 맞아 먼저 패밀리아 동신냠디 약고 쉬러 지시 쉬어래 디성망 가지고 돼야 되거든 안티나 신기 땅아주 아샹기 디는 신기 두비야가 와요라 아샹기 호랑기 려동 남바 난신기 맞아 패매스 튼지도 저직지치 야마불이야 갑디자로 지 수수기 저가 줄로다 따와랑초 디 낭콩의 판주 갑디 맞아지 땡데 야마리아 갑디자로 지 시험주 배워 상물로야 리구슈 아디네 시주도 지로 지시 지가 맞아 패디 라왕랑지 장어대배 계급질이야 공수경 부주부쳐 땡데 슈도 제우도 제로 시시 상물로야 물람기 배결로 배랑대결로
Thank you. U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer could not be with us today. However, we have Tandip Soni, Director of Asian Outreach for Democratic Leader, who will kindly provide an official statement from the Senator's desk and a personal letter from him.
Ari mangdo chokbata chocho kongme tumi jak shuma lagi charo Asia Merelia Roram dange tene jito te kenzi Tandip Sane lane songshe nangju.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandeep Kaur. I am the Director of Asian Outreach for Senator Schumer's office. And it pains me to meet you here today in a day full of pain. Usually when I meet this community, they are full of joy. This was actually one of the first communities that I came to once I came into this office several years ago. And I met at the Tibetan Community Center in Woodside, and it was the first time I saw a community center. And when I asked them, like, how did you build this? They were like, I was like, oh, what office gave you funding for this? They're like, what do you mean? We did this ourselves. And I was so amazed, and they were so organized. They gave me the Save Tibet Act, the bill that they'd been working on, and I left that meeting, and every other community that I go to, I take this as an example, and I say the Tibetan community is something else. The senator unfortunately could not be with us today, but I do have a statement from him that acknowledges the pain that this community is going through right now. The senator wants to give his deepest condolences to the Tibetan American community of New York and New Jersey, all of whom that are mourning the loss of Lobga Rangzen. The senator is deeply moved by the extraordinary courage and sacrifice made in service of the Tibetan people's enduring hope for freedom and self-determination. As the community gathers for the 49th day prayer ceremony, one of the most sacred observances in Tibetan Buddhism, my thoughts are with the Lobga Rangzen family, friends, and broader Tibetan community during this profound period of mourning and reflection. The senator says that I have long stood with the Tibetan community in New York and beyond in their struggle for human rights and self-determination, and I remain committed to supporting human rights and religious freedom for the Tibetan people. I honor Lobga Rangzen's memory and the depth of conviction behind this tragic sacrifice. It's an honor for me to be here to represent the senator and to stand amongst this brave community in this time of deep pain. And I'd like to call up Sonam La so that I can give you a letter that is personally written and signed by the senator of condolences for for this tragic day.
Thank you. We have a special speaker today, Thomas King Jackson, who flew in all the way from Idaho to support the Tibetan Freedom Mass Movement Rally today. Thomas has just turned 18 years old. He recently walked 1,000 miles to bring awareness for Tibet. Thomas was influenced by his father, William, who has traveled to Tibet several times, has helped rebuild monasteries, and has raised funds for educating Tibetans.
Thomas King Jackson
I want to thank you guys for letting me come out here and speak to you. And I would also like to first preface my speech with a quick apology if my words sound harsh, but I believe all of them to be true. Is it on? About 2 months ago, I started walking 1,000 miles for Tibet. 7 days ago, I finished in Utah on the peak of a mountain with 4 Tibetans accompanying me. Throughout my whole journey, my message has always been the same: don't forget Tibet. Many people in today's world are forgetting the millions of Tibetans who face incredible challenges that come with being occupied by a major foreign government. And many other governments which may be able to help, or at least sympathize, are more concerned with the business and profits that China offers, regardless of the legislation they pass. Gompo Tashi Adroksan said, "As an optimist and a staunch believer in the justice of our cause, I cannot entertain the notion that I and some 80,000 of my countrymen have been exiled from our native land forever. On the other hand, I am also conscious of a deep sense of frustration at not being able to oppose effectively the forces of oppression which drove us from our homes. I'm sure many of you relate to this feeling. My father refers to this feeling as the frustration of being Tibetan. Well, I am here today to say what I've been saying for months. Don't let the spark of hope go out. Learn about Tibet, and as you do, a spark for Tibetan independence will light within you, and you must not let that spark go out. Maybe you already have this spark, so keep it going. This doesn't have to mean walking 1,000 miles, but simply keeping a Tibetan flag in your living room or talking about Tibet with those around you will keep hope alive. Use the skills and resources that you already have to advocate for Tibet and keep that hope alive. People say Tibet is Chinese, and we know the truth. With this knowledge comes a responsibility to never give up. The best current action may be to just inform the world about Tibet, but this is not the end goal. The problem will never be solved if our solution doesn't create a free and independent Tibet. Many may claim there are ways for both nations to coexist within those borders, but unless Tibet becomes fully free, then somewhere we have made a wrong turn. Tibet is culturally, geographically, and linguistically different from China, and there must be 2 countries. The Chinese government will never voluntarily give up control over Tibet, and negotiations for autonomy will always end up fruitless, no matter what the Chinese government may have claimed throughout the years. We cannot stop fighting for an independent Tibet, and while many don't like when we use the word independent, we have to keep using it. If we stop saying independent, then we are giving up truth, and that is that Tibet will be independent. One major step that I hope each person here today will take to heart is this: do not let Tibetan culture disappear. This is a huge problem, and that is Tibetan culture, and especially its language, is quickly vanishing. If it continues like this, Tibetans as a people and a nation are on the clock. If the culture largely dies out as generations pass on, the cause will die out as well. It is incredibly difficult to hold on to a culture without a country, but the effort must be made. Many Tibetans I have met believe that as time goes on, Tibet's true history will be revealed and the nation will be given back. Even if this theory is true, I don't think Tibetans can afford to wait at even 50 years without the effort to keep the culture alive. Without a constant and powerful effort, Tibetans will slowly become more Indian or Canadian or American or Swiss or whatever, and Tibetans in Tibet will continue to grow up speaking Mandarin, and the Chinese government will have drained the life from Tibet's unique and separate culture. The time to act cannot be delayed. Many are trying every passive attempt for freedom, but in the meantime, Tibetan culture is being forgotten. The same goes for East Turkestan and Southern Mongolia, but that's a conversation for another time. I beg of you all to not let my words today diminish your hope, instead let them inspire you. Never lose hope, keep that spark alive within you, don't forget Tibet. And don't ever wait passively, but always fight for what you believe and never be content until your heart and soul is set towards your passions and ambitions. Every single one of you can be great for the cause, whether you're Tibetan or not, or if you think you have extraordinary gifts or talents or not, it doesn't matter. Anyone can be an advocate and an achiever. I know that I can walk, so I turned that into my way to fight for Tibet. So I urge you all to just start trying. You'll be amazed by what you can do. Do you think I knew that I would be flown out here to New York City when I started walking? Because I definitely did not. So just start, don't delay, and waiting never made a difference. And you don't have to be Tibetan to advocate for Tibet. You just have to be able to recognize that all people deserve freedom. Have you guys ever seen an issue and thought someone should do something? This is dangerous thinking. Someone should help, someone should tell people, someone should organize something, someone should educate others. You are someone. Someone should do something, and someone should make a change, and you are all somebody. We all need to act. Great change will only be made when many people realize they care and act for good. Not one, but many. This can start today. My message to the world is don't forget Tibet. I want everyone around the world to take time to learn one Tibetan's name or story, or listen to a Tibetan song, or anything. And this will help you realize that Tibetans, just like everyone else, are people, and people have the right to freedom. I invite you all not to ask what governments or those in power can do, but what you can do. You can make a change whether or not you believe it. It's true. You can. And again, we know the truth, one many don't know. So it is our responsibility to fight for it. And I promise you that you really do have the ability to make great change. Anyone can inspire others or teach others or become a foundation for others to lean on. I look around at all of you and I wonder what skills or dreams you may have. Any of those can be done for Tibet. And again, look at me. I'm a random 18-year-old American who decided to turn his ability to walk into my own form of advocacy. And 2 months later, I'm here. And if I can do this, you guys can do anything. Maybe you love to write, or maybe you love to make music, or draw and paint, or make films, or just talk, or anything. Absolutely anything can be done. Especially in this weird digital age that we live in, anything can be seen by countless people. So start tonight. Don't fall victim to the dangers of doubt and procrastination. If action is not taken, hope dies out. And if hope dies out, the cause is lost. I believe he understood this when he made the ultimate sacrifice right there to force attention to the cause. So to finish, I just want to say one more time, don't forget Tibet. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.